What's up, guys? We are back with another Super 7 Ultimates review, taking a look at the most recent glow-in-the-dark exclusive. And this guy came out a little while back at New York Comic Con, but it's one that, I don't know, basically screamed glow-in-the-dark repaint, just because, why not? He's gross. So we're taking a look today at the New York Comic Con exclusive MUCKMAN and Joe Eyeball glow-in-the-dark variant. Now, being an Ultimates figure and being a repaint, it still comes in the same kind of box that you're used to, but it does get kind of a refresh when it comes to packaging. So you've got a unique slipcover this time around. So we've got the sort of pink orange color here. There are some glow in the dark components to it. So like the ooze on the front and on the back glows. Pop that slipcover off as usual. You've got your figure there in the big window. The ooze and everything on this box does also glow in the dark as well. And then you've got, your sort of brick motif, but in a different colorway this time around. And then the bio card on the back is also going to glow in the dark, just to sort of tie it all together with our glowing pile of goo. So let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look. And here we go out of the package, our Super 7 Ultimates New York Comic Con exclusive glow in the dark MUCKMAN. So he is basically a counterpart to the existing glow-in-the-dark Mutant Man. We've gotten, the two really, really gross figures in this line have now been made in glow-in-the-dark. Yes, we do also have the original glow-in-the-dark Baxter, but he's different. I feel like he's not necessarily part of this little group. He glows blue. He's not a ooze glowing type of creature, and that's what MUCKMAN, that's what Mutant Man are. This is, of course, that same figure that we got back in This was Wave 3, right? But I mean, it's still arguably one of my favorite figures in the entire line. And dare I say that when this guy is glowing, he looks much cooler than the regular version. The glow on this guy is absolutely ridiculous. As you can see, there is a lot, and I stress a lot, of glow-in-the-dark plastic. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around. For the uninitiated, he is a very, very different kind of figure. He's super asymmetrical. He's also just really big, too. I'm going to take Joe Eyeball out for now, just so I don't go sending him flying. So we've got a head that can kind of bobble up and down, and it tilts side to side really good. It does rotate, but of course, he's sort of hunched forward, so it does one of those numbers. Arms, the left arm, your right, goes out about that far. The right arm, your left, goes out further. They're just different. This guy is definitely a little bit more locked down. There's really no doubt about that. We've got a single jointed rotating elbow. You've got hinges and rotation at the wrist. They're different type of hinges, so the actual hinge is connected to the arm here versus being part of the hand. It doesn't really change anything as far as function goes, but it's just a little difference. You've got a single piece torso here. It's basically just swivel. He does have a giant hole in his stomach, so there's really no room for much else anyway, but he can't do anything outside of the norm for Ultimates to begin with. Legs go out pretty far. They kick forward all the way. They go backwards a slight bit. You got a squeaky thigh twist up there. We've got a single jointed rotating knee. Pretty good range on these, basically 90 degrees. Of course, there is some craziness at the feet. So you've got hinge forward and backward, rocker on his right foot, your left. The left foot is obviously connected to a giant pile of trash and ooze and, well, a manhole cover there. And it does have really good articulation still. I mean, it's got pretty good range on the hinge and crazy range on that rocker. Like, it really moves all over the place. So he's pretty well articulated. The only true issues that I have for him personally are the fact that I wish the waist could do a little bit more. Like, it was, one of those instances where it's a swivel where it probably could have been a ball peg of some kind. Maybe not that deep because of the hole. And then, of course, slightly limited movement there, but the asymmetrical design is what it is, so I'm not too upset about that overall. He does move pretty nicely for being such a big figure, though. If you already have, well, the original MUCKMAN, though, the main point for this figure is the look, the aesthetics, how different he is from the regular. And, I mean, it's quite obvious. He is very, very different. It is, again, the exact same figure. There is nothing different here in terms of functionality or sculpt. It's all about the colors, and then, of course, we are going to get to the glow here in a second. So you can see that the majority of the figure is done up in the glow-in-the-dark plastic compared to the sort of, fully painted green, nasty muck of the figure here. And then you still got the orange jumpsuit, but it's a more fluorescent jumpsuit, and a lot of the the little critters that are crawling all over Muckman are done up in purple this time around. So it's just a little bit of a different shade. Everything is different in terms of these little paint details, from, you know, his name badge being a brighter blue to the milk carton being pink, the soda can being pink on the back, the trash can on his back being metallic silver instead of just the sort of normal, you know, gray. There is some stuff here that is not as detailed to allow it to be more glowy, though. So where a lot of the stuff on this figure is covered in a little bit of a dry brushing or some paint accents, you know, like his sort of tentacle beard is fully painted, whereas it's not painted here. It's to allow for that glow to come through. But then you do have some changes, like the super pink tongue, for example, that's really going to stand out, or the really yellow banana peel. Now, he does still have the removable banana peel, the sort of brain cap. I do not currently have any slime, so I can't demonstrate it, but the slime feature and functionality that existed in the vintage figure still exists here. It exists in this too, so you can get it to go through the mouth and the torso because of that hole. I just don't have any slime, surprisingly. But I think he looks great. I really, really like this colorway. Even if he didn't glow, I think that this would be a really cool look for him. Of course, it's just something different, and it's an excuse to have an exclusive version of this figure that isn't maybe necessary for everyone. But he still looks really cool, and I think they look very, very nice, sort of paired up next to each other. And of course, you know, we've got some Glow Joe to talk about as well here in a moment, and he looks really good with his regular counterpart. There's just tons and tons of sculpt and detail pouring out of every single inch of this guy. But like I mentioned, this big guy does, of course, glow in the dark, and he absolutely lights up like a beacon. This is one area where Super7 continues to just knock it out of the park when it comes to exclusives, especially, you know, things that glow, is that when they glow, they really, really, really glow. And everything on this guy that is that sort of translucent hazy white is going to just illuminate into this super bright green once you just let it charge for a bit, or if you can hit it with some black light, it is going to light up the room quite well. He looks great with the Mutant Man exclusive also. They very much kind of play off each other and have that same kind of glow. So I'm very, very happy to see, one, that there is so much glowing plastic on this guy, but also that it truly does just, you know, shine super, super bright and vibrant, and he looks like a walking ooze figure when he's fully lit up. Now, as far as accessories goes, Muckman doesn't have a lot of parts, but he has pretty much all the stuff you need for Muckman when it comes to this particular version, you know, Playmates version. That figure didn't have a lot of stuff either because he also comes with a buddy, and that always took up space in the package. So to start with, we do get his sort of cannon, his rifle thing, and this is done up a little bit differently from the regular version, which is fully metallic now. And it still has all that sculpted detail, so like all like the turtle soup cans, the worm cans, all that stuff. And then it's also got more of those sort of purple accents that we see all over Muckman himself. We do get a couple extra hands. So he's got gripping, triggery finger hands on him in the box. You get a couple really weird hands, like kind of gross hands. You know, this one's like covered in, well, muck. This is the left hand. And then you've got one where he's sort of like stretching out the goop all over his body. And this is a right hand. So you get two extra hands, of course, you know, they're glow in the dark. The big thing that we get with Muckman, though, is, of course, this little guy. So we do get a Joe eyeball, and he does, of course, glow. Obviously, he glows. I mean, look at him. He is fully glow-in-the-dark plastic. He looks great. There's not a lot of paint detail on him by comparison. He definitely isn't as detailed as the regular version, just because you don't have all that extra paint to bring it out, but the sculpt is exactly the same. He does have some articulation. You've got swiveling arms. You got a swiveling, slightly bobbling head, but it's all about the glow for this guy and just the look, and he looks great, and he's going to sit in the trash can on the back really, really well there. Or you can take him out and put him on the ground, whatever you want to do. So he doesn't have a lot of stuff, but it's all pretty impactful for this version of Muckman, and of course, a glowing Joe eyeball is pretty much worth the price of admission for me anyway. So yeah, overall, really, really like this one. You know, just like we had with the Mutant Man exclusive that glowed in the dark, this is another instance of it's the right kind of figure to be an exclusive that also happens to glow in the dark. He's not glowing just because it's a figure that happens to glow. He's basically made of, you know, radioactive ooze and garbage. So of course he very much could glow. And, you know, like I showed you, he absolutely glows. This thing is ridiculous in terms of how bright it is and just how much glowing plastic there is here. It's still all that same crazy gnarly sculpt that we saw before. Lots of new different kind of paint details and color, but the glow is tremendous, and that's what it's all about. He looks fantastic when he is just fully lit up. So that's going to do it for this look at the Super 7 Ultimates New York Comic Con exclusive glow in the dark Muckman and Joe Eyeball. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.